Monday morning from Futures Brizio here. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It is Monday, December 15th, 2025, just about 11 a.m. New York City time. And figure just jump in here and do our per usual, just a quick look at the markets. I took one trade already this morning, which I've already closed. So I'll show you that in a second. There were a couple of decent opportunities. I picked one and that was it. So let's just jump right in. As always, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and any questions or comments, leave them down below. Really appreciate it. Okay, so we'll start here because we got it up on the screen. This is hogs, and you can see, clearly we've been making some higher highs and higher lows. We made this low this morning. This is the 30-minute chart. This was at the open. This morning we spiked down, and now we've bounced off of here. And if we look to the left, this is kind of like, previous resistance now acting as support. So I do have a price alarm sitting just above here. And this could be, prime for maybe a move back up. Although it's very wimpy price action. This is the 5-minute chart. You can see it's just above this little doji candle that was formed about 10 minutes ago. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, this move back up has been pretty muted. And we had this very big engulfing bearish candle at the open. So it could just be that it starts going down. But if we zoom out a little bit, 4-hour chart, you can see again here, clearly making higher highs, higher lows. So it's not just the 30-minute chart. The longer time frame is in line too. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get an alert here while I'm on this video. But that's where hog stands right now. And there it is. I just got the alert. Let me move myself out of the way. You can see it right here. Oh, that's on the stochastic indicator. I don't want that one anymore, so we're going to get rid of that one. I just have this one on the price chart. Okay, so let's see what happens while we're going here. We'll go back to the top, look at rice. And again, we've been talking about these weekly levels here in rice. Okay, don't want to beat a dead horse, but we, between about the 980 and 940 zone, which is right where we are right now. And you can see here on the 1-hour chart, we did put in this little higher low on Friday. I don't really put too much into that because you can see we've had that many times before when this market has gone down and made new lows, like right here, right? Higher low, price went up, and then boom, a big move down. So this is one where I just got to be a little bit patient with market structure. And so I would say, something like this is that 4-hour level that I'd want to see price break above here. If we get a move back up here higher, then maybe we'll get that shift to a more bullish stance here. But in the meantime, this is still looking pretty bearish. But again, down to those levels that are not too far away is, where we have to be concerned in terms of watching how low this can actually go. Because again, not too far down here, we've got, that 940 zone, it's somewhere like, here. So, we could, of course, that's a pretty big gap there. That's 1 or 2 days of downward price action to get down here. And so we'll see what happens. So I'll watch this and see if there's any opportunity to go short. May not, probably, I would say probably not going to happen today, but we'll keep an eye on this throughout the rest of the day today. All right, but until it breaks, like I said, this last 4-hour structure level, then I'm not willing to jump in and take any, long positions on this. So, because we've been in a downtrend for so long, there's no point trying to pick a bottom. Let the market tell you when it wants to go higher. Okay, so on to soybean, and this is the one trade I did take today. So again, going out to our higher time frame, we had a pretty strong move to the downside right at the open. But looking left, we had this little gap on the chart. I closed my trade just before it got there, which turned out to be a good idea. Now, it might end up going down. Now, if we break lower and close this gap and keep going lower, then the next probably logical spot on the chart for the market to pull up a little bit would be this next gap that's sitting down here at around the 1020s area. But basically, yeah, this is the trade I took today. Right at the open, I got out here, and then price is now starting to go back up. So that trade is probably done for the day. But yeah, who knows? You know, again, I don't like trading these grain markets after about 11 o'clock because, you know, these markets are only open till about 2:30 or so in the afternoon. So it's a pretty tight turnaround. You have to kind of like, you know, make your bet. If you're going to day trade it, you got to kind of get in, you know, at a reasonable time and be out. But, you know, here down on the 5-minute chart, of course, we got the stochastic RSI up and overbought here. And, you know, hey, maybe we will get another signal to go short here. But you can see it's trying to go higher and then it's throwing this big wick. We don't have a signal here on the stochastic RSI yet. But like I said, whether I will take another short, I don't know. But that was the one trade I did take today. Okay, and it's pretty much the same story for soybean oil. This was the other one. You can see right at the open, this is the hourly chart. We spiked down at the open, and then we, you know, basically made that one run down and then stopped. And then, you know, since then we've had these two basically little doji candles. And out to the hourly chart, 4-hour chart. We did break this structure level down here. I talked about this, I think, on the weekend video of Friday, whenever I made the last video, that this was an area to watch. Looks like we did break that. And as long as this 4-hour candle does end up closing below here, then, you know, the next kind of zone down to look at in terms of just, again, guys, just look at it. Simple support and resistance zone is here. And then we've got this major swing low that was made back in early November down here. And so those are targets to look at beyond there. But right now, not really doing too much after it made those lows. It's kind of the same setup we have on soybeans, right? If you go to a short time frame, we can see our stochastic RSI is back into the overbought area. We do have actually a little sell signal right here. I just... Yeah, as you guys know, I don't really like trading on these really short time frames. A lot of false signals. But, you know, maybe we'll try to take one of these. But in the meantime, let's move on and just keep going. I haven't done anything on Canadian dollar in a while. You can see basically since this gap was formed last week, it's really done nothing since last Thursday. You see we're just on the 4-hour chart, just trading in this range right here. So I've just had no interest in doing anything with Canadian dollar just based on this, you know, action. Now, again, whether we're going to come down, try to fill this gap and then go back up, I'm not sure. We may have that going on in corn. We'll talk about that in a second. So no trade on Canadian dollar for me. Soybean meal didn't really have that big opening move down the way soybeans and soy oil did. This was the opening here. You can see it tried to go down and then it just stopped and went back up to the overnight highs back up here. But you know, here we are on the 5-minute chart. And again, maybe this will be maybe we're going to get a late signal on this asset. We do have this big giant wick here on the 5-minute back up to the pre-market high right here. And then, you know, throwing this big wick, and, you know, the stochastic RSI is attempting to give a short signal. So we're going to watch these soy markets here. Could be, you know, maybe a quick couple-hour trade to be had here on one of these. All right, and then corn. Looks like corn is trying to go down and fill this gap that was formed at the end of November. You see, we've just been traveling lower here. I'm, you know, if I was going to trade this, it would be looking short to fill this gap, and then, you know, after that, we'll see. This is the 4-hour chart. And you can see for today's price action, again, we popped lower at the open, and now we're basically back to the opening price right here. We're only about halfway through this gap fill. So I wouldn't be surprised if this just rolls and keeps going down. And again, it's sort of like the soybean complex, right? We're back on the 5-minute chart into the oversold on this stochastic RSI indicator. And and this does look pretty feeble. If price stays below this little, resistance zone here, this little consolidation zone, then I would look to target, back down over here to fill this gap off to the left here. Okay. And so that's, kind of how I look at corn. And then lastly on hogs, I think, we already talked about hogs. So, I'm going to just keep an eye out and see if this turns out to be a swing low to go higher. There was a signal to take this long back about an hour and 20 minutes ago back here on the 5-minute chart. But you can see price has been pretty feebly moving higher. And this is part of the reason why I don't always like these 5-minute signals, because you're going to get them. I mean, there was a signal here to go long, basically right here, back at 950. And if you were in that trade, you'd basically just be sitting at break even after an hour and 20 minutes because it just hasn't done anything. So that's why, I'm hesitant to take these 5-minute signals because, an indicator like this is pretty reactive. It's going to give you plenty of signals, but you're going to have to understand that a lot of them are going to be junk signals. There'll be some good ones in there too, but there's going to be junk signals, and you got to be ready for that. So, all right. So, yeah, that's about it. Let's take another quick look here before we go on these soy complex, just feeding back. So here's soybean oil. Looks like maybe it's trying to go down again. Soybean's not really... No, I mean, there is a signal there. So I may end up taking one of these. Let me see here. I mean, I like soybean oil because I think there's a little bit of run down to this next swing low here. So why don't we take this one? I'm just going to take one contract. We'll put our stop above this swing. It'd be pretty tight, 49.65. All right. And we'll sell that, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's the stupid little tone I picked for my price target for my executions. Kind of stupid. All right, and yeah, so that's it. Let me take a look at soybean meal here before we go. Soybean meal, I tell you, is really I mean, if this thing breaks lower, it's got a lot of it. There's really, looking left here, there's nothing really to slow this thing down. There's a little tiny gap over here. And then, I mean, really, we got nothing until these lows down here. So this is another good one maybe to look at too. Did get a signal here. So you know what? Let's take this soybean meal too. We'll just put the stop above that top of this range here. And we just took that too. All right. So you guys want to see some live trades there? There it is. So, all right. So we'll check on those later, see how they end up for the day. And that's it. So I'm going to jump out for now. As I stated, guys, I'll be around today, tomorrow, and then I'm traveling out of town Wednesday for about 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll be making any videos after tomorrow, but I will be watching the markets. But again, as we get closer to Christmas, especially after probably the 22nd, 23rd next week, things probably will start to really slow down as a lot of the big traders will kind of exit for the year. But we'll keep an eye on it. And but in the meantime, let's keep an eye on these. And again, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. Hope you guys have a great day in the meantime, and we'll talk to you soon.